Coco Gauff surprises lucky fans at her New Orleans tennis clinic. You won't believe what happened. New Orleans had no idea what was coming. The morning began like any other in the leafy neighborhood where the city's community tennis court stood, freshly renovated, gleaming under the Louisiana sun, and humming with laughter from kids who arrived early for a local tennis clinic. But those kids and the parents who hustled to get them there by 9 a.m. were about to witness something far beyond a normal Saturday training session. They were about to be part of a moment that would explode across social media, travel into national headlines, and become one of the most heartwarming surprises of Coco Gauff's career. And none of them saw it coming. The energy builds. Coach Ramon, the longtime local coach who trained hundreds of New Orleans kids, including a young Coco Gauff herself, blew his whistle and tried to gather the buzzing group in some form of order. All right, eyes on me, he shouted. No use. The kids were too excited. The courts were too beautiful. The energy was too high. Today's clinic was special because it was being held on the recently upgraded, city-funded courts that had once been worn down and cracked. The same courts where Coco trained during childhood visits to Louisiana. Everyone expected a fun, ordinary clinic. What they didn't expect was a superstar who would soon walk through the gates. A secret return home. Unbeknownst to the clinic organizers, a black SUV had just pulled up to the parkside entrance. Inside was none other than Coco Gauff, disguised in an oversized hoodie, cap, and sunglasses. Mission. Surprise. She had flown into the city quietly the night before, refusing a publicity announcement. She wanted the moment to be raw. She wanted it to be theirs, not the world's. This is going to shock them, Coco whispered, adjusting her hat as her dad chuckled beside her. Just like when you shocked the pros at 15, he said. Coco laughed. Still feels like yesterday. She took a deep breath, stepped out, and began walking toward courts. The build-up to the big reveal. On court 2, a group of kids were practicing volleys. Their balls kept bouncing off the net, rolling toward the fence. One of those balls reached Coco. A little boy shouted without looking, H-E-Y, can you toss that back, please? Coco picked up the ball. Instead of rolling it back like any stranger would, she stepped inside the court. She tossed it into the air and hit a perfect, effortless feed. The entire group paused. The coach turned around. Then the sunglasses came off. A moment of silence, pure shock, then booming screams. It's Coco Gauff, a girl shrieked. No way and oh way, another shouted. My mom is going to faint, a boy yelled at max volume. Parents sprinted toward the fence. Phones came out like fireworks. Kids ran straight into Coco's arms. Coco laughed so hard she could barely breathe. Hi, y'all, she said. You mind if I join the clinic? The crowd erupted. The clinic becomes a Coco masterclass. What was supposed to be a standard training session suddenly turned into an unforgettable once-in-a-lifetime event. Serve clinic with a Grand Slam champion. Coco walked over the baseline and held a racket high above her head. You know what makes a good serve? She asked. Kids shouted incorrect answers. Looks cool. Super fast. Magic. Coco laughed. Balance, rhythm, and believing you can hit it. She demonstrated a slow-motion serve, showing every detail. Then she hit a real one. Boom. The sound echoed across the entire park. Kids screamed like they'd just seen a superhero use their powers. One girl whispered, Her serve sounds different, like thunder. A shy boy steals the show. In the younger group, there was a shy boy named Marcus. Quiet, anxious, nearly trembling. Coco noticed immediately. You want to hit one with me? She asked gently. Marcus shook his head. Coco knelt in front of him. I used to be shy too, she whispered. Let's do this together. I promise you won't mess up. He nodded slowly. And then something magical happened. On the second rally, Marcus hit a clean, perfect forehand. Everyone gasped. Coco jumped and high-fived him so hard he lost balance and fell backward. Both of them burst into laughter. His mom, filming from behind the fence, cried quietly. That clip would later go viral with over 20 million views. Coco's New Orleans story time. Halfway through the clinic, Coco gathered the kids near the center court bleachers. You see that corner over there? She said, pointing to a spot near the fence. That's where I used to run footwork drills when I was your age. You practice there? One boy asked wide-eyed. Yup, right here, right where you're standing. She explained how she spent sweaty summers here, chasing the dream she wasn't sure was possible. I didn't start perfect, but I started. Those words struck every parent, every coach, and every kid. Even the mayor, who rushed over when he heard Coco was in town, stood quietly with his hands behind his back, humbled. The unbelievable moment no one expected. Just when everyone thought the surprise was over, Coco grabbed a microphone. I have something special for all of you. Kids leaned forward. Parents froze. Phones recorded. I'm sponsoring 10 full-year training scholarships for players from this clinic. Gasps, screams, happy tears. Then she added, and everybody here today gets new rackets and shoes and bags. The courts erupted. Some kids screamed louder than they ever had in their lives. Coaches covered their faces with their hands. A mother dropped to her knees, overwhelmed. Coco stood there smiling, a little emotional herself. These courts raised me, she said softly. Now they get to raise you too. The biggest surprise of all, just when excitement hit its peak, Coco did something that stunned everyone again. She called for Marcus, the shy boy from earlier. Come here, champ, she said. He walked to her nervously. Coco handed him the racket she used during her last tournament. This is yours now. The crowd screamed. The boy's mom sobbed. The sunset moment that sealed the day. As the clinic wrapped up, Coco lingered on the courts alone for a quiet moment. She touched the baseline. She looked up at the sky, glowing gold and orange. She breathed the humid air she grew up with. Her father walked over. You okay? He asked. Coco nodded. I'm grateful, she whispered. These courts gave me my beginning. I had to give something back. Her father smiled. And you did, more than you know. They walked out together as the sun disappeared behind the trees. The legacy of a surprise. By evening, parents were already telling their children, you could be great. You saw what's possible today. Kids lay in bed clutching new rackets, daydreaming about their futures. Coaches began planning how to use the scholarships Coco gave them. And the city? It felt more alive, more hopeful, more connected. Because Coco Gauff didn't just show up. She came home, and she lifted everyone with her. Final word, a day New Orleans will never forget. Coco Gauff didn't need lights, a stage, or applause. She brought something better. Her time, her heart, her story. She surprised lucky fans. But she also reminded New Orleans of a simple truth. Champions don't just come from cities. They come from communities. And on that unforgettable day, Coco gave her community something priceless. Belief. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.